Knights of Seven Oaks, Number 1. Chapter 1. Kayla. I arrived in my silver Buick outside Lorton's Bar and Grill on the corner of 7 Oaks Drive at around 4:45 in the evening. It was here that I formally and jovially greeted by all of my good pals of the Oaks Drive Knights family, of which I was a proud member and lieutenant. Kayla Sekhmet is the name, and running these deep streets in the so-called city of brotherly love has been my game for nearly 12 years of my entire young adult feline life, from middle school age all the way up to now, in which I am now 23. Ever since my father went to prison years ago for armed robbery and was killed only 2 years later, when I was just a young kitten, I decided to carry on his legacy within this particular gang and joined up at age 14, just a few weeks after dropping out of middle school to do so, and to do so secretly. Ah, there's our boss lady, my dearest friend and the only canine Tibetan wolf of the group, Jane Deaton said happily as I stepped inside the establishment, or more properly known as our home. Perfect timing, homegirl. Always like clockwork. Good to see you too, Jane, I smiled. You all ready to go get this grip in a minute? Yeah, but I've kind of got a bad feeling about these damn Russians. Bennett Marshall, my second in command, replied. Rule of thumb says you should never trust 'em. I know exactly what you mean, brother. His sister Haley agreed. I sure hope as hell they come in peace. A little while later, we each hopped into our own separate vehicles and made the drive one by one down to 5th Street, where the make or break deal would go down. Chapter 2. Jane. What'd I tell ya? Bennett said, trying to keep his head down behind a nearby dumpster in the alley as a hailstorm of bullets was sent hurtling towards us from the Siberian Huskies of the Red Reapers gang. I knew right from the beginning better than to trust the goddamn Russians. Well, you know what the cats always say, I replied. When in doubt, fight it out. I drew my samurai sword from the hidden sheath on my waist, and right when the lead husky least expected it, came up from behind and gave one good swing with it, sending his head literally rolling off his shoulders and hitting the ground with a soft thump. The other whipped around the sound, but before he could even have time to react, I plunged the blade deep into his stomach before ripping it forcefully out of him, and then shoving it upward vertically into his neck while Bennett, Haley, and Kayla downed the other one hard with many shots from their guns to both the throat and chest. Once the way was clear, we quickly emerged from behind our cover and sprinted as fast as our legs could carry us across the alleyway and back onto the street where our vehicle sat parked along the corner. I hopped in my black Chrysler and sped down the conveniently quiet Philly streets with the rest of my crew just as I began to see headlights from a vehicle approaching far off in the distance behind.